Welcome back to a very early morning edition of the Jesse Rucinski show. Um, there's a lot of stuff to go over again with this whole Russia Ukraine thing. I'm trying not to put my foot in my mouth and get ahead of things, because then you kind of look dumb when you do that. But it is amazing, like all this freak out about like biolabs, like now to me, like we knew what he was going to do for months now. So why is it suddenly an oh no problem now? You know, just saying. And we've had people at the White House, people from all over the place have different stories with all of that. And then, we saw Marco Rubio ask, I only have about a minute left. He asked the question, oh, yeah, we have them. Like, no one's telling us anything. There's a million different stories. So I'm not going to get into it until we hear more than that. But I mean, I'm not surprised if we had them there. Like, we have them all over the place. A lot of countries have them all. Yeah. Every country probably has one. But the fact that they're so freaked out about it now, like they didn't know that they were there before he actually went through with it and started invading. Like, just had months to do something. You have time to do something now. So do something. But don't lie to people. Tell everyone the truth. It's not that hard. But I'll leave it at that until we get more, just because, again, I mean, everyone that listens, I'm sure you saw the reports coming from all over God's creation, just the people admitting it and denying it in the administration all over the place. So once we get more actual information on it, then I'll, get into it. But all I'm gonna say is, like, I'm not surprised if we do have one. If, not surprised at all that we had them. Um, but now, why won't they tell the truth, and why didn't they do anything about it until it's way too late? Like, where have you been? But that's really their thing. But today, we're going to talk about the one that is literally killing me. I shouldn't have to spend that much money to fill up an Accord to drive as little as we do. And that would be gas prices and energy, and all the stuff because of inflation. We saw the numbers for inflation way up. Uh, Allegedly, I'm hearing they're up at 10. We keep just spending trillions and trillions, and we're spending money, trillions that we don't have in printing, which is lowering the value of our dollar. It's putting, creating money to put into the market, which is why we are where we are. For all you people that don't understand how the real world works, I like to argue, I'm crazy. Oh, we found it before. We could find it again. Yeah, that theory is why we are where we are. But remember all that, like gas prices, price of goods, price of everything went from like they've moved all kinds of stuff. They've called it all kinds of different, you know, all kinds of things. But I mean, one thing they really haven't like owned up to is that, well, it's on them. Like, anyone that doesn't understand that, like, I'm sorry for you, but it's on them. Like, all this spending, all the regulations, all the printing money that we don't have is what got us into this inflation and idiocy thing in the first place. And again, they just keep spending. I think we just passed $1.4 trillion for something else yesterday. Like, we haven't spent enough money. The problem, we're going to spend our way out of inflation. It's like, no, that's actually, it's not how that works. It's never how that's worked. Like, I don't know where you guys get your information from, but I mean, that's not how it goes. And I don't get how people still support it so much, because it's so blatantly obvious, like punching you in the face. Yet people just keep drinking it in like Kool-Aid, and it's terrifying. It really, really is. But I mean, I got the average price of gas from 2020 until now by month. So, bear with me while I read off some numbers. We all know how much I love numbers. First, under that guy right there, you see, you're watching the screen on President Trump's last year. January was at 2.6. This is all price of gas, the average, so 260. February is 250. March is 230. April and May were $1.90. Right at the worst part of the pandemic when no one's doing anything. June was up at 217. Then July, August, and September was 227. October 224. November 220. December 228, which are all very good numbers comparatively. That included during the pandemic, and I still don't get with people. Oh, no one was going anywhere as much. I mean, like, yeah, car travel stopped a lot, but I still know people that like flew back and forth across the country, numerous times. Airplanes were still packed. People were still going places. Like that all did, like stuff was still getting shipped. Like fuel was getting used regardless. It wasn't like, oh, this is what happens when we flip the switch back on. Like, how do you think we got all these medical supplies and people flying all over the place, and our houses like were energized and stuff? Like fuel was still being burned regardless. But yeah, 260 was the highest, and that was at the beginning of the year. Not that catastrophic, but it was down to 228. And President Biden got in. Here's the numbers for that. January 242, February 258, March 289, April 295, May 308, June 316, July 323, August 326, September 327, October 338, November 349, December down to 341, January 341, February 361, and then the average as of yesterday was 432. That's like the one since everything in Ukraine happened. The last time I checked, 228, all the way up to even the one like in January, 341 is still just, that's over $1 all on its own before. Yeah. Vladimir Putin did anything, at least legitimate, like incursion into it. It's building up, but I mean, from less than 230, in December of 2020 to 361 before this happened. I mean, I'm sorry, that's what, $1.30 something, $1.33. And before the huge jump and all this happened, like, sorry, like you can't listen to them when they say, remember, start out what it's all transitory. It won't last forever. Then it turned into manufacturers doing things, and it turned into, our supply chain, thing with everything backed up. Then it turned into blaming us for buying things. Now it's turned into Russia. Like Russia might be having like a small part of the problem for some countries, but yeah, it break it to you out the prices I just went over. Like this was already here, and they're just using that as an excuse. And if you look up the numbers, like it proves that it's just an excuse, which is why I don't know how people like fall into it. Let it do it. But I mean, if you look it up, we get just under, like, let's say in December, over 400,000 barrels, just under, from Canada. Yeah, right up there, neighbors to the north. And we only had like 12,500 from Russia. So they're literally like maybe 3% of our oil. And it is, way, almost 400,000, over 400,000 more barrels from Canada. Like that 12.5 does nothing. So yeah, they can try to blame it, on the Russia-Ukraine thing and all this, but 12.5 compared to, I think it was like 450,000. Those 3% of it isn't gonna make the price jump 70 cents. It's just physically not, because it like doesn't even put a dent in what we have. So to let them blame it on the Russia-Ukraine thing and see how many people just go with it and don't challenge them when it's obviously, I mean, 12.5 compared to 440 some, like we're getting nothing from them. So yeah, 70 cents over 3% of our oil, like imports, is full of number two, put it that way. It's really like, to let them blame it on that is just dumb. And the amount of people that let them get away with it are dumb. The people that will argue with me and yell at me and tell me I'm crazy and I'll never like the president. Well, I won't. I think he's an idiot. His policies suck because I was around for 8 years. Last time he was in office, guess what? They sucked. Um, that's all it is. Like it's just policy and actual numbers and looking into stuff. And this is just it's just bad that they're trying to blame 3%. The problem there on 70-cent gas increases, which by the way, that increase happened before we cut off their oil. So the fact that people are still letting people get away. I mean, the price went up per barrel, but I mean, on 3% of it, it's not going to make a 70-cent difference per gallon. I'm sorry. It's not. Don't let them lie to you. Don't let the world lie to you. 3% does not do that. Idiocy does that. Lunacy. And all the stuff they're doing, since they got into office, all over the energy agenda with all the Green New Deals, policies, restrictions, all the regulations to make, doing it harder. We have all of these, permits. Yeah, how many of them are like takes, a lot to get those things going, and especially with all of the limitations they put. Remember, they cut off all new fracking and all that on federal and public lands. They cut off a lot of stuff just on day one. And we have enough. Like we have enough. We have like over 100 years. People are saying underneath the soil, underneath the country. And instead of tapping, more of that, getting everyone as fast as they can going, we're trying to make deals with people that hate us. And that's the big one that pisses me off. Like we should not be trying to make deals with, the Maduros in Venezuela, because look what they do, killing their own people. Everyone's starting like they're just murderous thugs. The mullahs and Ayatollah in Iran, the prince and sheiks and all them in Saudi. We shouldn't be making deals like with bad actors that hate us and our allies. I mean, really, really hate us. Why should we be trying to buy oil from them and put it into like nuke deals and stuff? Like, why? Especially when our stuff burns cleaner. So if it's actually about, like saving the environment, that's why we're not doing it. Why are we having people that produce dirtier stuff that produces it dirtier, let alone when it burns, it's dirtier? Why? And then shipping it here, which, is for the environment, that's say enough, is those big, things have to, big boats have to get it over here. Like none of that makes sense because it's not trying to actually, like that actually is more damaging to the environment if you have anything in between your ears. But I mean, like literally people that chant like, death to America, death to Israel, all kinds of like every day from the Ayatollah and all them, and the largest state sponsor of terror, by the way, in Iran. Like, and we're trying to fit oil into the new nuke deal. Like they're 6 months out. Like this is from our own people. They're 6 months out from having a nuke, being a nuclear weapon capable. With all this, death to America, death to Israel. Like a nuke could reach, Israel, a heartbeat from there. And like we're trying to, and they're allegedly, we've heard reports of them putting out hits on members of the Trump team, which, we again, bad actors, but they're more worried about getting oil from them and letting them have a nuke because like we're screwed right now. And like 3%, like we'll be okay. This should not cause us to do that when they want to kill us and our allies and literally chant the death to us every day. Why the hell are we trying to give them any, like, so they hate us? They're talking about making a nuclear weapon. They want death to us and Israel and everyone else that, and yet we're trying to give them, fund them to get oil from them, which will give them more money to help do that more, even though they're the largest state sponsor of terror. Like this is the level of idiocy that we are dealing with right now, boys and girls. People are dumb. People are like really dumb when they fall into this. I'd like you'd rather do deals with people that hate us and our enemies than just ramp up production here as much as you can, as fast as you can, and as safe as you can. To help, the thing going, the situation right now. Like that's like, how much do you have to hate? Like there has to be hate or something involved in it towards, the country or just something when you'd rather give billions of dollars to people that literally hate us and our allies and are killing their own people and all that than just ramp up production here and make it easier and faster and get all that going, because he can get it going. Much as they don't think they can get anything, like they can get it going. And even like the major, like the big US government oil thing is telling the president everything he's saying that he's full of it. Like, and that's like, this has nothing to do with that. And we can fix it, but we don't care. I just hope that, people are at least starting to wake up, even though all the ones I talk to aren't, which is terrifying, in and of itself, that they're still saying that, well, it's transitory, it's from Russia, it's from this. It's like, no, bro, like there's the numbers. Just look. Just look. Like, it's actually very easy to figure it all out when you actually, take all the idiocy that they've shoved down your throat and your hatred from all the idiocy they shoved down your throat for an orange guy and for half the country, because he literally thinks we're all racist hillbillies on the right. Yeah, idiotic, inbred, just everything. How they still see it at this point, I don't know, but it all comes down to it. This is all environmental regulations. You can say whatever you want, but for years, the time he was running, he said he was going to get rid of fossil fuels. There wasn't a place for it in his administration, or in the world, really. Yes, it's all they've been talking about. And the Russia thing, it's not helping with any of that because of how much, especially our European allies like Germany, how much energy they get from Russia. That doesn't help anything. But us just having 3% like loss right there from it. That like it was way up before that happened, and 3% isn't going to do that. Like, I'm sorry, like the price, it's the price of the barrels. That didn't help, but on only 3%, like that's a small dent. That's not enough to raise, the price that much. So, we all get it. Most of us get it. Doesn't make a lick of sense. I mean, it's all blatant right in your face, but there's some people that still argue with it. And, it's going to keep getting worse, sadly. And it get worse, way worse before it gets any better. And again, that little bit, 3%, it's part of the problem, but it's not enough to raise it as much as it has or how much it's going to go. It's just all inflation and idiocy. And now we're making deals with, bad actors that want to kill us and their own people and our allies. So that's terrifying as well. Don't even know how that actually fathoms, comes into your head as a good idea, or how that's even an idea. Never mind even a good idea. How that's an idea that crosses your mind at all. I'll never get that either. But it's going to keep getting worse, which is just down to the brass tacks and the ridiculousness of it all. I know it's killing me. I know it's killing a lot of people. Again, it should not cost me over $80 a week to fill up a cord. But here we are. It's real life, and I know a lot of people that are struggling with it, and all the people that have said all the bad things about it, sooner or later they're going to be struggling. Well, it doesn't affect me. Sooner or later it's going to get to everyone. Now, whether it's your car, you drive a truck for work, whatever, like the gas prices are going to start hitting people, and it's going to hit you sooner or later. And the price of everything continuing to go up, it all comes down to bad policy and idiocy, lunacy, really, and just ignorance from people that don't actually understand what any of it means, and they're all jumping out, woo, even though like anyone that knows anything that's been around ever knows what it was all going to mean. And here we are. So I wish I could leave it on a better note for the weekend, and we're all screwed, but I'm pretty sure we all know we're all screwed and it's going to keep getting worse. So not really the bearer of bad news, but if you need like those numbers for gas prices, I mean, that just proves it all. And then you can find the information for how much oil we get from people very easily, from the government themselves, how much, they get from everywhere. And look it up, and then stop letting them lie to you and others. Put the stuff out there. Everyone share it out there. Look it up and share it out all over the place. Screw them. I can't stop. They might not like me, but they can't get everybody who tries to share. So that I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for checking me out. Thanks for watching, listening. Comment, tell me what you think. If you want any of the numbers, let me know. I still have them on my phone. I can message you, messenger, whatever. Like I can get you them so you could see them for yourself and rub it in people's faces. And that share it out. Share it out to the world, no matter what you're listening on. Like share it out to your things. Go on the Facebook page, share those out, videos, but get it all going to as many people as you can, because that's the truest form of help you could give me, because that's free advertisement and they can't get us all. And I know they hate me. So don't forget, every Tuesday and Friday, I am here regardless of any notifications you get. There's a new episode. So check it out. Make sure you're always looking for those and enjoy your weekend. I don't know what anyone has planned. I don't know. I mean, the weather's going to suck here. I mean, at one point, I think it's supposed to be 24 in the morning, 70 by the afternoon, and thunderstorming tomorrow. Yeah, and I heard that people are also up north getting like a foot of snow between tonight and tomorrow. From the same cell, I'm guessing. So, whatever you're getting, be safe and enjoy it as much as you can. I'll be back here on Tuesday unless something really stupid happens. Don't forget, I even do like previews and stuff on TikTok sometimes, just because I finally caved and listen to my sisters. But enjoy your weekend. Be good to each other. Don't forget to share it out and follow along on all the platforms. And until Tuesday, my friends, be good to each other. Peace.